So how and when will the country see rolling blackouts come to an end? This was one of the questions that dominated discussions during the ANC's NEC meeting over the weekend. This as Eskom reserves run low. Calls are mounting for the ruling party to be removed from power over its alleged involvement in the crippling of the battling power utility. Let's go to eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto, who's following developments. Let's find out from him. Moloko, a little earlier on, you were with another political party, COPE, that was actually opening a criminal case at a police station. Just tell us exactly what charges they want police to investigate.
Hello, Masero. Well, before I even talk about the criminal charges which Congress of the People opened here at a police station in Littleton in Pretoria, perhaps let us start here at the fact that Congress of the People has also weighed in, joining other parties reacting to this rolling blackouts. You would recall that yesterday it was the IFP president, Velengosi Hlabisa, saying that the ANC has actually created this mess, saying that in 2024 the voters must punish the ANC. But we have seen the voters re-electing the ANC during the past local government elections because the blackouts were rolling out. And we understand that the ANC is currently in an NEC meeting and the blackouts that are rolling are being discussed. But COPE's Willie Madisha earlier, he also echoed that sentiment by the IFP, saying fire the ANC as voters. Let's listen to him.
Fire ANC, not the CEO. I say this, why? Because again it goes back to the Zondo Commission. All these kind of things arose when the Zondo Commission was going on. It was able to find out, I'm referring to the commission, to find out that all those people who were employed, you talk about Mulefe, you talk about Koko, you talk about all this kind of people, they were involved, and these people were deployed by the ANC. And the very many, lots and lots of money, which came as a result of, the corruption there in the in Eskom and the other many state-owned enterprises. All those monies were taken to these people of ANC, Zuma and them. And we can't allow this kind of thing. We can't allow this. Therefore, the people of South Africa must know that they are suffering. There's no electricity, no transport, no food, nothing because of those people.
And another political party, the DA, says it's reached out to the DG in the presidency.
Yes, Marcelo, you would recall that the DA last month actually announced that it was going to write to the Director General in the presidency, to who is also the Secretary to Cabinet, to ensure that actually the issue of Eskom and this energy crisis makes its way onto Cabinet agenda, because the DA essentially wants Cabinet to classify or even announce this electricity crisis as a national state of disaster. Let's listen to the DA's Kevin Millihem.
On the 12th of May this year, the Democratic Alliance wrote to the Director General of the Presidency, who also serves as the Secretary to Cabinet, requesting that the issue of ongoing rolling blackouts and the impact on the country be placed on the agenda of the next Cabinet meeting. We specifically called for Eskom and the energy sector to be declared a state of disaster, and for there to be a report back to the nation after the Cabinet meeting with concrete action steps on how to address this ongoing and decades-long crisis. We've heard nothing. And the President and his two ministers responsible for electricity, Pravin Gordhan and Gwede Mantashe, have been conspicuous in their absence. They have sought instead to divert blame from themselves rather than coming up with solutions to fix our electricity generation and keep the lights on. It is the DA's position that there are a number of actions that must be taken in the short term. These include immediately declaring Eskom and the energy sector a state of disaster. This would allow funds to be diverted to addressing the crisis and would permit the sector to bypass, with the appropriate waivers from the relevant ministers, various regulatory processes. They need to rapidly unbundle our transmission grid and create a truly independent system market operator. This would allow Eskom and independent power producers to compete equally and should result in downward pressure on electricity prices. Then government needs to allow municipalities that have the financial resources and the technical skills to immediately procure electricity from independent power producers or to generate their own electricity and thereby ease the burden on a struggling Eskom.
All right, Moloko, let's go back to the issue of cope coming to that Littleton police station. Who exactly are they laying charges against?
Well, Masero, according to the COPE Deputy President and Member of Parliament, Willie Madisha, of course, he is relying on the final report that was handed to President Cyril Ramaphosa by the chairperson of the Zondo Commission, which implicated the certain leaders of the ANC. But today, the criminal charges that were opened here, specifically corruption and also money laundering charges, were opened against the current Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, Mr. David Mahlobo, who at the time was Minister of State Security. You'd remember evidence before the Zondo Commission indicated that Mr. Mahlobo involved himself in the operational matters of state security agencies, something that he said there was nothing wrong with that. But there's also allegation that he actually collected money, millions of rand, and part of that money apparently found its way to the former president Jacob Zuma. Now, according to the Congress of the People, they want that to be investigated because they say unless somebody opens the criminal charges, this matter and other issues would not be investigated. Let's listen to Mr. Willie Madisha in this regard.
Here to do today is to open a case of corruption against the former minister, Mr. Mahlobo. What I want to indicate is that he was not only involved in those corruption cases, but then what he actually did was to be the commander-in-chief to some extent when he was doing all those particular things, given the powers by the then president, Mr. Zuma. Now, what he did was not to only get into mere corruption, kind of cases. It was money laundering. Some things actually even led to the killing of South Africans. That is exactly why, number one, we are here. We know that he established many projects, some of which killed the people. If one were to give you an example of such projects, there is this one that is called Principal Agents Network. There is another one called Operation Commitment, Simunye, Sesikona, Platinum, Operation Self-Return, and many, many other more. And I want to say that all those particular structures, all those operations needed lots and lots of money, which came from the taxpayers. But then that money, again, was used either to steal more from the people of South Africa or to kill some of the South Africans who rose and said, but here, these things are wrong. Yeah. That is why we are here, and we cannot allow this to happen.
All right, Moloko Moloto, outside the Littleton police station in Centurion. Let's leave it there for now.